Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Steampunks, the series where Shane and I take a look at games on Steam and basically give our opinion on whether or not they're worth purchasing. First thing you may notice about this episode, no Shane. He's on holiday and this is a single player game, so even if he wasn't, he wouldn't be here. I just wanted to point that out because, I don't know, I'm a nasty person. So, the game I'm doing today, without blathering anymore, is called Game Dev Tycoon. Now, it's actually been on Steam for a while. The last couple of games we looked at on Steampunks were quite new releases. But Game Dev Tycoon has been on here for about 6 months, and it was released on the actual developer's website before that, and then it got through Steam Greenlight. The reason I'm doing it is, well, it's because I love it. I absolutely love it to bits. It's an amazing little game, and I really wanted to show people, you know, how good of a game it was, and also a couple of bits of information I'd like to pass on because they're absolutely fantastic. You'll see more, understand what I mean pretty soon. So first things first, it's developed by Greenheart Games, which I believe is just two fellas, and it's their first game, and for a first game it's bloody brilliant, if I do say so myself. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I have clocked more than 40 hours on this game, and I got it for less than the price of a half-decent meal. So, you know, that's absolutely outstanding. So, first things first, I will show you how things go. So here we are, welcome to Game Dev Tycoon, we're here. There's a little garage here, we'll just click through this. There we are. So, first things first, you got to select a company name, and you got to name your player. So I think I'm gonna call my company Tommy Corp Games, and I'm gonna call my player me, Tom. So, then you get to choose how your character looks. Not that many options, but you only see them from the back, so it doesn't, you know, it's not a huge issue. And as you can see, you can really just choose their hairstyle, you know, bit of skin color, and their whatever shirt they're wearing. There's a few choices here, as you can see. But yeah, you only ever see them from the back like that, so it's really not a huge issue. So let's get started. Okay, since I've played the game before, I can choose to use all previously gained hints in this new game, and I'd like to import all previously gained hints. I will not for the purposes of this video. So, as you can see, I've named 2 saves before Tommy Corp Games, and I also named one Greenheart Games, i.e. the actual developers, because I thought that might unlock me an achievement, because they have some nifty achievements. It did, but not the one I was expecting. There was a hidden achievement that unlocked me, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And as you can see, I've got this Tommy Corp Games, I've got 885.7 million. I've got over 3 million fans, and yeah, it's year 67 of the world, as it were, of the industry. None of these have been played in a few months. That's because I've mainly been playing this on my laptop recently, and at the moment I'm recording this on my PC. But, I mean, this game, my laptop's not the most powerful thing, but this game runs absolutely fine on top graphics, top settings. It's really, really good. So we're just going to overwrite this one. Which, that was basically this anyway, I could have just started there. So, here we have it. Here's my guy's little garage here. We've got what I can only assume is a DeLorean underneath that. We've got him sitting at his desk. We've got a little Pong on the Pong poster on the wall there. This bit off the side, you may notice, that's a slight glitch. That's because I loaded up, I started this new game having just been on a previous game where there was something to the side of the screen. So, don't worry about that. It's not always there, but sometimes it is. And, oh, there we are. As you can see, there's a thing to the left as well, a thing to the right. So that's just a slight glitch. If I reloaded the game, then that would go away. But I'm not going to, because it's not exactly a game breaking. So, first things first, how do you develop games? Well, you click. You see, how simple was that? I never knew game development was so easy. So, as you go through, you'll have more options on this little kind of left click menu. And you got develop games, create custom enders, that sort of thing. But at the moment, because we just started, all we can do is develop a new game. And now you'll notice up here in the top right, we've got a timer. So we've got fans, how much money we've got in the time, and we just went through 4 weeks just then, like in that time that I was arsing about. Because the time advances very quickly in this game, and as you can see, we lose 8,000 credits a month at the moment. So I can only assume that my guy eats nothing but luxury foods, and just like, he pays his rent. I mean, look, there's damp in this garage. The rent's probably not that expensive. He pays his rent and then just buys, like, something ridiculous, like pheasant and salmon mousse gourmet pudding or something. I don't know. So I can only assume that's why my monthly costs are currently so high, because my character is really, really greedy. Or it may just be that there's some kind of weird inflation in this market that uses credits. But that's not important. I'm just blathering on, and there's an actual game to show you here. I don't have to speculate about the economy. So, first thing we want to do is develop a new game. Nice and simple. And when you come to a game development, you've obviously got to choose a name. Then you have several things to choose between. At the moment, I've only got the topic, genre, and platform. As time goes on, you can research things like cross-platform, multiple genres. You can kind of target your game towards a particular audience. So you can do all these things. And right now, let's just choose a topic. So you start with 4 randomly selected topics. As you can see, I've got dungeon, vocabulary, romance, and military. And if you look at all of these question marks, those are all topics that can be unlocked. And you unlock them through research. And it's absolutely fantastic, the sheer amount of combinations of topics and other things you can have. So it means that you can just make all kinds of games. So I'll just go back from here. Genre, we start with 5. Action, adventure, RPG, simulation, and strategy. Nice and simple. You can also unlock casual games as a genre. I tend not to do them that often because, like, purely out of principle of what the real games industry is like. I'm just like, no, there's going to be enough casual games. I'm going to make a hardcore RPG. And then it bombs and I feel silly. But, yeah, so we've got these here, and then we've got the platform. Now, at the moment, because this is sort of the 80s, essentially, set, we've got the PC and the G64. And what they've done in this game, it's very clever, especially if you know the history of the games industry. Obviously, at the moment, as I said, we've got the PC, the G64. But they've made like all of the big companies throughout history, gaming's history, and all the big consoles, but just give them different names. So like, Nintendo is Ninvento, Sony is Vonny, I think it is. Microsoft is Micronoft, and that sort of thing. And like the PlayStation is the Play System, and that sort of thing. It's a very clever little thing. So this is obviously the Commodore 64. Now I personally not a fan, because I know my gaming history, and I know that the Commodore 64 ended up crashing and burning after some time, even though it started out pretty strong. So I tend to go for the PC early on. So let's start by developing for the PC. I'll just show this actually. You got genre match as well. When you make games and you learn which ones are good where, this kind of gives you a bit of information on that. The market share obviously shows sort of how much of an audience this particular console has. And then the development costs are always something worth taking a look at, because this is your original cost before you actually start on the game. So if I did the G64 right now, I'd be down to 42k before I could actually even begin on the game's development. And for some later platforms, especially Ninvento's ones, I'd like to point out, Ninvento are great for this. Some later platforms, you've got to pay, on top of the dev cost, you've got to pay an actual license fee, just like you do in real life or some things, to be able to develop on it. And like there's, if I remember correctly, like the PlayStation 2, so PlayStation 2 is just like 200,000 or something really expensive, and it's just like, Jesus, guys. Do you not want me to make lovely games for you? And evidently they don't. So, go for a PC game. Let's pick a topic. Let's see that. Dungeon, vocabulary, romance, and military. I mean, those are some odd choices. But we're in the really early days of 2D. I can literally have got like text-based games that I can make, or really 2D ones. So let's go for a dungeon, and let's go for a dungeon RPG game, I think. Like an old-style dungeon crawler. And let's call it... Oh dear, what should we call it? Let's call it Down in the Dungeon. Now, I must say, one of my favourite things about this game is the amount of freedom you have in your game's development. So, like when I show you my, I will probably show you my later game at some point, and it's like I just keep calling my sequels really stupid things. Like I had a dungeon series in that which I think was called Dungeon Spike for some reason, I don't know why. And I could call Dungeon Spike 2, it was called Dungeon Spike 2, The Spikening. And I just keep doing things like that, and it's just really good fun. So, we move on to feature selection. And at the moment, as I said, it can be the text-based or the first version of 2D graphics, and these each cost some money as well. Now, in time, you can develop more 2D graphics and then eventually 3D graphics. So, we'll go for 2D graphics for you at the moment. We'll start development. And now he's beginning. You said, well done me. You've put 2 bugs into the game and nothing else. Bloody hell. Okay, so first things first, you saw this little bug thing go up there, and it goes into this bit here. So I'll have to hammer those out before the game actually ships. Now, normally, if your character's not a complete idiot who's incapable of doing anything right, normally you get points in these design and technology bubbles, and then occasional points in research. Design and technology reset after each game. They are for only that game in particular, but the more of them you've got, the better the game will be, generally speaking. Research stays over, and you use that to research new topics and new features for your games. So this bit here is the real meat of how a game is developed. You've got these different sliders. And so you've got to know, you got to think what would be useful in what kind of thing. So, I'm making an RPG. That's the really important thing. The dungeon bit's not so important, but the RPG bit's very important. Now, in an RPG, we will want a lot of emphasis on story and quests. Yeah? Because, RPGs tend to have a lot of quests, things like that. It's very good. We won't need much work on the engine. We don't need too much allocation. It's not a game that is going to require a particularly complicated engine. It's a really early 2D thing where you just go around and just do what you're supposed to do. Nice and simple. Gameplay, I'll leave about halfway. I tend to like to leave my sliders at bottom, half, and full when I'm moving them around. Not necessarily always in that order, but that's what I like to do with them because it tends to prove to be a very good allocation of the time. So I think we've got some emphasis on gameplay, but mainly on stories and quests. So I think this is a pretty good start. So we press OK, and my little guy is working this. He's writing away, and he's adding these points up, as you can see. And I really love this system as a way of showing it. Obviously, it's early on, so we got 3 in that and 2 in that. But he did get 5 research points, so go little guy there. That was pretty sweet. So yeah, that's simple thus far. We've got more bugs than anything else, well, bar research at the moment. But okay, so we're now to development stage 2. So we've got dialogues, level design, and artificial intelligence. Well, it's an RPG. I'm programming everything in. We don't need any artificial intelligence, really. We do want some dialogues because I want there to be some story. Not much because it's really early, and this is before the days of story. Level design, fairly important, but again, I don't think it would be as important as dialogues, purely because, if it were an action game or something, everything would need to be specifically placed, but in this, a lot of stuff is probably just going to be scenery. So, let's hit OK for that as well, and my little guy can get working. Yeah, see, because this is more a design-heavy game, there's more points going into design than technology here. And he's just scratched his head for like a week and a half. He's really thinking hard there. So, the final bit of development stage here, we've got, as well as the sliders here, well-designed graphic and sound, so these are quite technical. We've also got, over here, we have selected features. Now, there are selected features appear in the previous 2 windows as well, but I haven't unlocked any of those yet. So, the graphics here, you can't change. That's just to show you what they are, just to remind you. The sounds, you can change when you've unlocked more. See, I could have this so it has no sound. But I want some sound. There's no excuse for not having sound. People have ears. So, now I'm just going to choose between well-designed graphics and sound. I'm going to put well-designed right up there to set a nice sort of background and, world-building sort of thing. I'm going to leave graphics and sound where they are because both are so basic at this stage it won't make much difference. So let's OK that. And as you can see, we're coming to the end of the development here. And there we are. My guy's done quite well. He got 16 research points. But you can see here, he's just hammering out these bugs. You want to leave them for a while. You don't want to send the game off immediately since it finished. You want him to get rid of any bugs that are still there. And then you can leave him for a little while here, and occasionally he'll add more to design or technology. Or he'll add more bugs, like the fool he is. But it's okay, it's fine. He's managed to deal with that. And there we are, we've gotten that. So that's good. Let's finish, because we've only got 18,000 cash left. So after your after you've made your game, you get these little kind of summary windows. And as you level each of these different things up, you unlock more things you can research and then add to a custom game engine, which I will show you some of in a little while. And you can also level up your own character as well, and when you get other people in your studio, you can level them up too. So here you've got the choice of trash the game or release the game. I've never trashed a game, purely because if I make a game and it turns out to be terrible, I'm normally just there like, well, I'll get something from it. I'll get more from it than if I threw it away. And that may not be the best move, because you can easily lose fans for doing that. At the moment I haven't got any fans, but, in time you get them. So, let's release it. Now, we wait for the review scores. And they were really fast off the bat there. So, first reviews for our new release game, Down in the Dungeon, came in. And the review scores are really important, okay? So, if we don't get good review scores, then this whole thing is just going to bomb. So, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Well, there we are. We got a 6. Could have been better from Star Games. We're going to get a 5 from these people. Yep, 5 from Informed Gamer. Has its moments. And 6 from Game Hero. He liked it. Or she liked it. Probably a he. It's the 80s. And all games liked our focus on dialogues. Now, that's not a very good score. That's 5.75 that will average out as. That's not great. I mean, if you get a 10, like full 10s, your game is pretty much guaranteed to sell well. This wasn't a great one, but it is our first game. And we can't all, make a first game like Greenheart Games made, i.e. an amazing one. So, let's close that. And then over here... Oh, wait for it. Well, there you are. Okay, so that was called favourable reviews. I guess they weren't terrible. And then over here, we have Down the Dungeon. You can see how many units it sells week to week. So we just sold 2,659 units in the first week on the market. That's not too bad, is it? Made it in the charts at number 66, and that got us 18.6 thousand credits in the sales, in selling of it, that is. Down in the Dungeon was so successful we now have 19 fans. Wow, I didn't think it was that good, but okay then, people. There we are, we got lots of people. Now, what we can get our little guy here to do after we've made a game is to generate a game report, and that will just basically give us some insights into kind of what, like if Dungeon RPG, for example, it'll give us some insights into if that works well. It will also tell us, you know, what things are useful. And you can see your handy bits here. You can also see this in game history. Just various stats for it. So as you can see, at the moment, we see how much it costs, we see what we got income, and we see what we've lost. Currently, we've not made any profit, but I'm hoping that will change soon. See, got a nice little boost in the sales there. So as you can see, you can also get research from doing these, generating the game reports. It's always a good idea to do them, because you always need more research. So yeah, Dungeon RPG is a great combination. Dialogue seems to be very important for this type of game. Platform, genre match, RPG, PC, good. So all in all, I made some smart choices there. The game itself just wasn't quite, you know, it just wasn't quite enough. But, so that's, oh, there you are. We did sell over 10,000 units, so that's not bad. And we did that in 6 weeks. So, you know, that's pretty bad, 10,000 units in 6 weeks. So, next thing we got to do, we want to get researching. And this is one of the most important windows in the whole thing. Because you get your various things here. And as I said, as you level up your things, you get more and more options available to research. And right now what we've got is 2 options. That's new topic, which I'll show you in a sec, and custom game engine. Now I don't have enough for custom game engine, see, because that costs 50, and I've got 23. So I'll have to make another couple of games probably until I can get that to actually be able to afford that. So when we go into new topic, you've got a choice of 4 you can choose, and every time you research one, another one will unlock, and it eventually just goes right the way down. So I'm thinking, let's research a fantasy game. Let's do that. And as you see, that costs 10 research points. My little guy here is hard at work getting this done. There you are. The Govador 64 is currently outselling competitors in the PC sector. Currently. Yeah, that's not going to last. Ha ha ha. Funny. Incidentally, actually, I think I may have got this set to be a longer game type than the standard one. I don't remember if I have or not. I can't see it anywhere, so that's fine. Yeah, so as you go through, as you know, time goes up here, things will happen that mirror the actual games industry. New consoles, new companies, old ones will go bust, that sort of thing. So that's good. So we've researched the new topic of fantasy. So let's make ourselves a new game, and this one is going to be a fantasy one. Yeah, it's going to be another RPG because I think the studio is going to feel pretty good about RPGs. We're going to work hard on it, and it's also going to be on the PC. So, incidentally, reviewers tend not to like it if you make a game with the same combination as your last one. So if I made another Dungeon RPG game, they would not like that at all, and they'd think I was going stale and not be very happy. So it's always a good idea to kind of stagger your game releases. So don't follow a combination with the exact same one. You want to change it up a bit. So we're going for fantasy RPG. That should be okay. And let's call it, well, let's call it The Elder Scrolls because I have no originality whatsoever. Right, next. Same as last time. I've got all the same options as to the actual creation of the game and what goes into it because I obviously, I don't have any, I haven't unlocked any new things. Now, I'm not going to change these because I'm pretty happy with all the setups I've got for RPGs right here. Down the Dungeon off the market sold 12,657 units, generating nearly 100,000 credits in sales. So that's pretty damn sweet. There we are, see. So I'm letting my little guy work away here. Again, same with this, and as you can see, I've now got this down here, which is showing me, it's saying that these 3 pluses mean this is very important for an RPG, and the question mark means we're not sure if it's important for a fantasy RPG, but or like, you know, on this platform or something like that. So, but that's good. You get these guides as you go through, and when you've completed the, or you know, not completed the game per se, when you've had a previous game, you can carry all of these over, like it asked me if I wanted to earlier. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just not going to change the sliders for this at all because they were some pretty good ones last time. It was just, you know, I'm hoping to get some more hefty technology behind my game this time. Not this technology slider, I mean, you know. No, I'm not. What am I talking about? What am I doing? Yeah, we'll leave these again. Like, not very interesting, I know this. I'm just going through the same sliders. But, ooh. Would you look at that? Ninvento are planning to launch their very own gaming console. Ninvento is known for the widely successful arcade game, Dinky King. Ah. Yeah, that's nice and interesting. So, I'm getting loads of research out of this. This is great. So let's just let him knock out the bugs. There we are. Look at him go. Look at him. Look at him typing. Look at that. Look at him code there. Isn't that great? So let's finish this up, and we'll see how it does. I just clicked, and that just kind of lets it speed through these nice and quickly. See, so we haven't leveled up any of these yet, but we're going to make a few small games before we properly, you know, pull off a successful one. So, you know, this is how the start often goes. I keep saying you don't. I haven't said it yet. I do apologise. This is how the start will often go. You'll make a few moderately alright games, maybe a couple of terrible ones, and then you'll have a big breakaway hit that just does fantastically. So, oh, I see, oh, no. Okay, 6. I'll just speed these up as well. There we are. 6. Please don't be... damn you, fun games, all games, whoever you are. Damn you, all games. I could have had a solid 6. Now I've got a 5.75. Again. Screw you guys. God damn. Oh, they suck. They are terrible. How's the sales going? How are they doing? Oh. Well, it's not too bad. I'm not sure if we'll... we haven't made a profit yet, but we will do very soon. So we'll generate another game report there. And what I'm going to show you guys, I'm just going to get up enough research up to make my own custom engine. And so that will require making a couple more games and then doing it. There you are, see, so nice things. Our level design is quite important. There you are, see, I've learned something. Oh, look, it's the NES. I mean the TES. The TES, yes. Yes. That doesn't actually make sense, though, because NES stands for Nintendo Entertainment System. So I don't know what TES stands for when they're still called Ninvento. Oh, well. No, they are. Sales of the Elder Scrolls have just fallen completely. They've basically just collapsed in on themselves. But we've got a few more fans. So, I don't think I've got enough yet. No, that needs 50. So let's make a new game. Another one quickly. And this time let's go for... Let's go for a military game. Let's go for a military action game. Yeah, we'll do that on the PC. And we'll call it... Shooty McBang Bang. There we go. So let's make Shooty McBang Bang, a military action game. I'm thinking a sort of side-scroller. So, you know, again, basic 2D graphics. Text-based is actually quite a good idea for your early games because of, you know, it's quite cheap to produce. But, no, we won't have any text games here. So, right off the bat, military action, we don't need story or quests. We do need a good engine, though. It's got to work very well. And we also want some high gameplay. I think, actually, gameplay might be more important than engine here. Because, you know, ultimately you want it to be very fun to handle. But let's just pop engine down a little bit. Let's put that to there. That'll do. Okay, so let's move through to this. So this game's probably end up going to be having more technology points than the last one and less design points because I'll be going for more of a tech sort of thing. You know, there'll be more stuff behind it. Oh, but look, we just broke 100,000. That's nice. So this one, see, it's going to have little enemies jumping about everywhere, you know, like Contra or something like that. So we're going to need lots of artificial intelligence. No dialogues. No dialogues at all. And level design... That's probably quite important, so let's put that up as well. So let's okay that. There you go, Elder Scrolls is off. So that's it. We're getting lots of research points. Quite a few in technology. There we are. And world design. We don't really need much on that. So let's put graphics and sounds up. As you can see, we'll still be spending some time on world design, but not as much as on these. So let's okay that, and we'll see how Shooty McBang Bang, you know, does in the reviews. And there we are. We've got enough to create a custom game engine. So if we decide to make a sequel, we can always do it on a new engine, which you should do anyway if you're making an actual sequel. There's a separate, excuse me, there's an actual option to make a sequel, but you don't, you know, you can just make another game which isn't a sequel. But you can call it a sequel and nobody can correct you because it's a single player game. Haha. So there we are. See, I've upped story / quests and dialogue. So I will unlock some new things for my custom game engine once I've researched it. And the NES is out. The TES, sorry. So let's see. How did Shooty McBang Bang do? I saw a couple of 10s there, but it's not going to be. No, 6. Bloody 6. Everybody's... Oh, no. Oh, dear Lord. 4. Informed Gamer thought it was okay. See, Game Hero gave it a 7. They thought it was a nice experience. And All Games gave it a 6. So that will average out to... a 5.75 again. They keep doing 5.75. Look at that, all of them. 5.75. I can't show you the others here. But that cost 40k to make. So let's just generate a game report, and I'm sure it will make back that 40k quite easily. There you are. We nearly did that in the first week, so that's not bad at all. Oh, look at this. Jason is impressed with Shooty McBang Bang. So, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, this is another thing you got. So I've unlocked contract work. So you can just do these little things here. And then basically you've just got to fill up, you've got to generate enough design and technology points in the time limit. They can be a bit tricky, like if your character is terrible. So we'll do this. As you can see, you get paid money if you win. It's a good way to get some extra research points, but you lose money if you do not pull it off. So as you can see here, he is working away there, filling them both up, and we get another research point. Now fill that, so we get double quick on the design. There we go. Attaboy. Bam. Fantastic. 20,000. Excellent. One of the most annoying... Thank you, Jason. One of the most annoying things is, like, occasionally your character will sit and scratch his head for a while. And if he does that on a contract, it keeps going down, the timer. So you're just there like, no, stop scratching your head, you fool. You'll never make it. And then he never does. So, yeah. So, let's research custom game engine, people. This is an important one. This is one of the most important things. Which is also why it's obviously one of the first things you research. So my games aren't doing great, but I am at least making a profit. So that is something to be pleased with. So we'll just let him do that. There we are. So Shooty McBang Bang is now off the market. It's sold. Blah 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 blah. There we are. Custom game engines. Now we can now create a custom game engine here, and as you can see, we've already got some new features to add. We can get 2D graphics v2, linear story, and save games, which is, you know, great because it's nice to be able to save your games. It's also nice for your game to have a story, and we can slightly improve the graphics. Now, at the moment, I can't research any other improvements for it, so we may as well go right ahead and make ourselves a new game engine. So, let's do all these. As you can see, it costs 90,000, and we will call this game engine... we'll call this the Genesis engine, because it's new. It's a new thing. Well, new engine, I guess. So, we'll call it Genesis engine, and this will then allow us to... As well as have better graphics in our games, it will allow us to have actual story, fancy that, and also give players the option to save their games. Now this costs 90,000 to create, as you can see, so I'm now down to 95,000, because that costs a lot. So there's my little guy working away. He's still working on the graphics. It's going to take him a little while, they're quite important. Yep, now he's up to the story, the concept of a linear story. And he'll move to, yep, there we are, he's doing save games now, and in we go. Fantastic. Now, the benefit of new engines is, of course, they give you new options for things to put into your games, but they are also tend to be more expensive. As you can see, we've got, you know, we can now pick that engine. This one isn't very expensive to start with, but you'll see on the next page, I'll show you in a sec, that the higher level of 2D graphics cost more to develop with, and things like that. So, let's do a new one. Let's make another fantasy game. I think another RPG, because I just want to show you kind of the difference on a new engine. We could do it on the TES, but that's got that has a license cost of 80,000, and we're at 87,000. So if we pay for that, and that's not including the dev cost, so we actually can't afford to do that at all at the moment. So we'll go for the PC again. I know the PC has the lowest market share, but it's generally a good, sturdy one to do. And look, this one's got 2 floppy disk drives. How fantastic is that? Look at that. We can put 2 floppy disks in that. We'd have no need to, but we can. So let's do this. So this will cost 15,000 here, and let's call it. This won't be another Elder Scrolls game. I don't think. Let's call this The Adventures of Jim Mc. I don't know why I'm going with so many Mcs today. Jim Mc. Ding Dong. There we go. Look at that. Look how many. Look how long the title of my game can be. This is amazing. Okay, so here we've got text-based 2D graphics v1, but now we can get 2D graphics v2. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. But the cost is obviously up to 35k, so it's getting a bit more pricey. So he can get to work right there. Started. So now here, as you can see, we select features. We can add linear story and also save games. We definitely want to do that. So story and quest go up, engine goes down, gameplay goes to about halfway again. Now what you do find, especially as you get later on, is when you get lots of features unlocked, you can't put them all in the game. There's just not enough space. And so like you have to manage these sliders very carefully in terms of what you can sort of, to coincide with what you can put in. So let's do that. Now this may look, I want to speak about the game, like my impressions of the game now for a while, rather than take you through things, because you're getting the basics here. When I said I really, just doing all these as well, when I said I really like this game, I mean, you can see I'm just being stupid. I'm being silly. I'm giving my game silly names. I'm just coming up with ridiculous ideas. But that's what I love, is that the game lets you do that, and in fact actively encourages experimentation with like bizarre ideas. So like I could make a dancing game on the Game Boy when that's released. I can make a dancing action game on the Game Boy. It would almost certainly be terrible, but I could do it. You know, that doesn't mean I should, but I could. So, you know, I really like just how much freedom the game gives you to come up with your own ideas and just explore really silly ideas. And, you know, but one of my very favorite things about this is occasionally, like, it's really crushing when you make a game and it just goes terribly. Oh yeah, see, the test has been a massive success. And so sort of like your game goes down and it's just like, oh, no. But then occasionally you'll just have an incredible, just out of nowhere, a smash hit. And you have no idea what happened. So, case in point, I actually had one of those before. I made a game, and remember what I said about you shouldn't make a game with the same kind of combo right after one. I made a game, and then I was like, okay, I want to make another game in this series, but I'm going to have to do I'm getting loads of levels up here. This is great. Even little Tom has leveled up. I thought we're going to have to do a different one in between. So there you are. See, I can now research game tutorials and mono sound to put them in my next game engine. Yeah, and so I was like, I'm just going to make a filler game. So I made a comedy game, and I directed it at a mature audience. And I thought, okay, what kind of comedy game would need to be a mature audience? And I'll admit, it may not have been the most mature thing, but I named it The Adventures of The Adventures of Will the Willy, which is, you know, incredibly juvenile. But then it got 10s across the board. I think it got 1 9, but it got 10, 10, 10, 9. And The Adventures of Will the Willy was my highest selling game at that point. It was the breakout hit for my studio. It was just a comedy adventure game about a willy, and it was so well received. It was unbelievable. And I think like 10, 15 in-game years later, I made a sequel to it, because I thought we're going to go back to our roots here. I made a sequel which was, if I recall correctly, The Adventures of Will the Willy 2, The Willyning. Because, as I said, I like to name my sequels stupid things. And that also did incredibly well. That was 2 10s and a 9, I think. So it was just absolutely ridiculous. And I just love that that can happen in this game. You just suddenly get an amazing smash hit out of nowhere. Like a game about a penis was my best hit on my company. It's fantastic. But as you can see here, we're getting a few higher scores for this game. Because, I mean, the new engine would have helped because there's now more features and things in it. So there you are. 7.75 as an average there. Not bad at all. So we should get some nice sales going on over here. There you are, nearly 10,000 in the first week. That's fantastic. We'll just generate a game report here. We've already made a profit. 1 week, and we've already made a profit. That is outstanding. So we'll just let him do his little work there. That's it. Scratch your head. You haven't washed your hair in 2 years, 11 months. Like nearly 3 years now. Okay, there you are. See, so we got some nice insights there. So, let's take a quick look at my game history. We got 3 5.75s. Screw those. And then we've got a 7.75. So we're improving. Things are improving. And Jim McDingdong. Very nice. So, yeah, these are the basics of the game. And as time goes on, and you research new things, you make new engines, you go through, you leave your shitty little garage behind, and you go and you get a new little studio place, and you hire people. And, you know, you get more people in, and it's great. And there's stuff. And you can build up, and you can take on bigger games and bigger projects. And you can get publishing deals, and you can do this, that, and the other. Word of advice, don't do a publishing deal if you're not prepared. Because publishers generally want medium or large games. I tried to do a medium game on a save the other day. Totally forgot that I needed more than just my guy. He was terrible. He was so overworked, the poor sod. But anyway, I'm digressing again. Yeah, so you advance through the game, and you get all these new things, and you get new areas, and, you know, it's cool. And you get right to the point where you get your own full-on development studio, and you can unlock sort of, you can get your own hardware lab and develop your own consoles. You can get an R&D lab and develop, like, a digital distribution platform, essentially Steam. And you can, like, make your own MMOs and that sort of thing, and it's really good. And you don't have to take my word for this, because I'm going to show you, because I'm that kind and friendly. So, I'll save this game quickly. And incidentally, another thing I'd like to say, I love the graphics of this game. They're simplistic, but it's so damn pretty. So let's go into my massively popular game here, like my massively successful one. So, right off the bat, as you can see, here we are in my studio, my like big studio. I got me sitting here, Excuse me. And then I've got my my staff here. Now I've trained all these people up, and you can see it's got their names and something that we all specialize in. Because when you're making large games, you need to have people who specialize in something because they're really good. So you can see we've got new game, sequel, expansion pack, and expansion pack is like a sequel but for an MMO. Engines, work, publishing deal, staff list, game history, blah, 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 blah. So here's where we do our things. Now over here in the hardware lab, as you can see, I've got a few people here, and I can give it its budget per month. At the moment, it's on $1 million. And they have created... I've released my third console now, and that's the Tombox 3. Unsurprisingly, the first two are called the Tombox and the Tombox 2. And these people are just here currently to fix any that come in for repairs. As you can see, we occasionally get a backlog. And these are my sales of the Tombox. It's doing very well. Now let's just pause this a second. So this is doing very well here, as you can see. And we just made 137,000 out of Tombox 3 sales. Now, I've also got an MMO going, which I call RuneScape, because I like RuneScape. Shut up, leave me alone. I like it. It's great fun. And I'll be honest, I've found MMOs, they're kind of like an endgame thing, but I found them to not be that... also, Portal Gun. I found them to not be that profitable. Because look at all of this red. This is insane. You have to keep releasing expansion packs in order to keep them profitable, but by the time you've produced the expansion pack and developed it, it's no longer profitable from the last one. So you'd be doing nothing else. You'd just be doing expansion packs, which is insane. So, as you see, I can develop a new console. But, sorry, I'll just wait for another... there we are, see. So, 10 million. 10 million RuneScape is costing me in maintenance per week. Or no, per month? Per month, per week, per month. I'm not even sure anymore. But then we also are getting millions out of the sales. So over here, I'll just show you the R&D lab. Now, it's got a budget of $0 per month, so there's no staff. But that's because I researched everything. The only other thing I can do now is this repeatable thing, which is my own convention. Because as the game progresses, you get to go to G3, which is E3, but with G. But then here you can make your own convention. And yeah, so that's that. As you can see, I've got... and there's a little Akami posted there. It's very nice. As you can see, I've got 3.2 million fans and all this. And I'll just show you a new game. So these are all the options I've got. I've got small, medium, large, and now AAA, which costs 10 sodding million. 10 million. Now I can afford a risk because, you know, I've got 859 million in the bank. And I've also got 617 research points. I think I've researched everything. But that's my 59th game. There you go. I'll show you my topics. I think I've got every topic. Yeah, there you go. So here are all of them. As you can see, there are just a few that I kind of stuck by. Like fantasy was a big one for me. I did a lot of fantasy. So we've got a lot of topics here available. We've got these genres, and we can, you know, we can mix and match them now to make it action adventure. We can also do it an MMO. We can have a small MMO. No, we can't. They're going to be larger AAA. Excuse me, I got a hiccup. And as you can see, an MMO is vastly more expensive, but they do have the continuous income, so that's something. Now I can put things across 3 platforms. So here we've got, you know, we've got all the modern devices. We're actually at the next stage of games, see. So you have like the Xbox One and the PS4 and the Wii U come in. In fact, here's the Wii U still. But then it moves up to the kind of a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Next, you know, PlayStation 5, Xbox Next. Which is, you know, a bit of speculation on the part of Greenheart Games as to where the consoles will go. But I quite like them. So here we got the PPS. That's the DDS, Nintendo DDS. We got, you know, like a Microsoft sort of tablet pad thing. I forgot what they call it in real life. An iPhone, an iPad, the Nintendo... No, sorry, that's the PSP. That's the Nintendo DS. That's still going. We've got the Ouya here, which was released, the Wii U. The PC, which, as you can see, I made a lot of things for. That's got market share of 10.6%. But I'm pleased because the Tombox 3, it's got no dev cost for me because it's my goddamn console. And it's got the biggest market share. How great is that? And one thing I like as well is I chose that appearance. You can choose kind of different appearances for it, which is really sweet. And I've got my various engines here. I've got Destiny, Proteus, Phoenix... Bloody hell. Phoenix, Herald, Herald 2, Evolution. I'm going backwards. Eden, Advance, Advance 2, Advance 3, Future, Future 2, Future 3. I wasn't very good. Evolution, Evolution 2, Herald, Herald 2, Phoenix, Proteus, and Destiny. Now, the Phoenix engine I remember vividly because my company was in the toilet. Right? It was just going south for miles. And then I made the Phoenix engine. It was my last hope. I was hoping I'd be reborn and my company would do amazingly. And it actually worked. It pulled out. So I'll just quickly show you these purely because I want to show you... some of the options. We'll call this blah 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 blah. I just want to show you kind of... So I've got 3D graphics version 7. That costs 2.4 million. That's all I wanted to show you, really. I think I've probably shown enough. This video is going to be really long now. So yeah, and instantly these people have these little things which allow them to boost, so it makes them work really, really, really quickly and really efficiently. So I'll just quickly show you... Oh, there you see. I got to click on him specifically. So I'll just research. Can't research anything else. I've researched everything in the game, and I'm quite chuffed about that. And we can also, I can generate a game report, there we are, on like a tie-in game I made for the, for my MMO. That cost 46 million, and, oh no, sorry, that wasn't the tie-in game, that was the expansion. And it didn't get very well received, I have to say. So yeah, and we got little plushies here. There's loads of little details. We've got Super Meat Boy here, we've got little character from Journey here. There's loads of little details in this that I really like. So, yeah, I'm going to stop this now before I just start playing through the whole game again and just record the whole thing, because that will be an incredibly long episode of Steampunk. So, yes, that is Game Dev Tycoon. Oh, no, one more thing, actually, I want to mention, which I really meant to mention like 20 minutes ago, but I forgot. Special mention to how the developers, Greenheart Games, what they did to counter piracy. Because, as I said, you could get this from their website, and I believe it's available on tablets as well, and I'm told by people who have it on tablet that it works really well, and I can imagine that, because the simple kind of click interface, you could just tap it, and that would work great. So I'd recommend get this on a tablet as well if you've got one and want something fun to engage your time, because it's apparently really good on there. Yeah, so when before this got on Steam, when it was released on Greenheart Games' website, they didn't have any DRM for it. What they did do is they released a cracked version of it to torrent sites, and actually like torrented it themselves. They released a cracked version like hours after they put it live for sale. And this cracked version, it was fantastic because it would allow the players, the pirates, the people who steal games, stop stealing games. It would allow them to get to the point of, like, they get pretty far, they get sort of the second dev room, but then they just get pop-ups like any other in-game pop-up that would tell them that their games were being pirated and they weren't making any money, and so it would be impossible to progress because the people who pirated the game, and only the people who pirated the game, would themselves get their games pirated. And I think the developers were hoping to kind of send a message to pirates to say, this is what happens when you pirate games. Alas, I feel that message was perhaps missed somewhat because their forums over the next few days just filled up with people saying things like, my games just keep getting pirated, what do you do? I keep trying blah 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 blah. And it's just like, you completely missed the point, you blind idiot. But I think that was just an absolutely fantastic and novel way of facing up with pirates. I think it was absolutely brilliant because they did it in such a way that it annoys pirates, hopefully it educates them, and more to the point, it does not punish legitimate players who purchased the game, as so many other things do. And you can look at their at Greenheart's website, which I'll put a link to in the description, for more information on that whole thing, because they documented the whole thing. It's absolutely fantastic. And I just think it was a tremendously inventive thing to do. And, I mean, the whole game is inventive. And basically, my final verdict, I'll close up now. My final verdict is this game is magnificent. Genuinely, for a first game, it was amazing. Just well done, Greenheart Games. I love it to bits. I have had so much fun on this game, and it's cheap as well. It's like a quarter of the price of most AAA releases, perhaps even more. Like, even cheaper, that is. And I've just had so much fun with it. And the best thing about it is I play through it, and then I don't play it for like a month or two. And then I come back, I feel like, oh, I see someone on Steam playing it. Like, oh, Alex is playing Game Dev Tycoon. I'll pop on again. I start a new game, and then it all begins again. And I'm just like, oh, this is exciting. And it's also engaging and enjoyable, even though I've done it several times. It's fantastic. It just doesn't get old. And it's just a fantastic game. I cannot recommend it enough. It is available on Steam. As I said, I'm pretty sure you can still get it from the developer's website. But it is available on Steam for $9.99. Or £6.99 or €8.99. So, or your regional equivalent to those. Those are the only three I checked. So, yeah, I mean, again, £6.99, just under $10. Again, that's cheaper than a takeaway. Like if you get a Chinese takeaway, that's cheaper than that. So, and you get a lot more enjoyment out of this, trust me. So if you've got to choose between, I don't know, like, it's just, oh, I'll get some pizza. If you've got to choose between getting a pizza and getting Game Dev Tycoon, get Game Dev Tycoon. Really. If you've got to choose between just about anything in Game Dev Tycoon, get Game Dev Tycoon, because it's an absolutely fantastic game, and I cannot recommend it heartily enough. So, I guess all there is left to say is, thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time. Go and buy Game Dev Tycoon. It's amazing. Goodbye.